I often envision an image of a rose stuck in something like wires. And I feel like when I wear black, I'm kind of protecting myself from the outside world. I really felt like I wasn't me anymore. You can use that image of yourself as a guide, as a compass. Hi, my name is Dima, and today I'm going to my art studio and I'm going to explore fashion and psychoanalysis today. Also, I'm going to draw at the end of the video, so please stay until the end. If you want to support me, please give this video a like. It would be very helpful. The hardest part is to leave home once I prepared everything that I wanted to take with me. I put my clothes on. I'm ready to go, and once I leave home, I'm happy. I have been so introspective and introverted. And the first thing that I always do when I arrive, as you can see it in my previous videos, I always check the free store. I call it post-capitalist store, and why I call it that way, because everything there is free. And this is the first time that I encountered this concept in the Netherlands. Well, usually, if you go to a vintage store in the Netherlands, the prices are pretty low and you can get like really nice outfit, really nice stuff for your home, for your studio, for a very reasonable price, just a few euros, like a few American dollars, for some really great items. And you can really have beautiful clothes. You can even sometimes find luxury brands there. But why this place is different? Because there is just no one at the checkout. Imagine you just walk in and you can choose anything you like and you just take it with you, and that's it. You don't have to pay for it, and people left those items for you to use. And there are, of course, a few boundaries. This store is only for people who live in the building and who also rent in the building. So right now I'm renting there the studio space, and that's why I'm allowed to make use of this post-capitalist store. But also sometimes I can give something back. If there is something that I don't use anymore, I can always leave it at the store for someone else to kind of make use of it. And some of the items are really simple and some of them are not in the best condition, but some of them are really good. Like today I'm going to try the different outfits, different clothes that I found in this store, and some of it is actually a luxury brand. I found one t-shirt which is Comme des Garçons brand, and it's a pretty common kind of like logo with heart. I think you know it. And usually after the store, I take the elevator and I go to the studio, and sometimes there is no one at the studio, sometimes there are people. So I would normally just say hi and maybe have like a short chat, and then I will have like a short reflection moment in the chair. I call it like psychotherapy chair, which looks like kind of like Freud style. It's actually a Le Corbusier designer chair. Again, someone left this for me. Someone was living in the studio and they just left this chair. And this chair is like 3,500 euros. I think it's a perfect timing to explore the meaning of fashion in this video. What does it mean for you, for your life, for your development, for your self-expression, for how you see yourself, how you see the world? And I have been listening to one interview podcast. It's actually based on the recently published book, and this book is called Dress, Dreams and Desire: History of Fashion and Psychoanalysis by Valerie Steele. This book is going to be released for the public in November. And I have been listening to a podcast, a discussion about fashion and psychoanalysis and what it means to dress the way you dress. I think that fashion wasn't really taken seriously for a long time. It seems something more like superficial, something on the outside. and I want to explore the meaning of fashion. What could it mean for us and the way we see ourselves and other people? And I think number one is, fashion as protection. It's like one of the basic needs to protect your body, to have like a layer of protection between you, your body, and the outer world, to also protect it, keep it warm. And I think this one is really the main kind of basic need of human. But from the psychological point of view, protection can mean also like protecting, like for example, if you wear a specific color, like recently I like to wear black, and I feel like when I wear black, I'm kind of protecting myself from the outside world. I mean, the outside world can be really, really cruel and can be really challenging to understand, and it can also be very violent sometimes if you see what's happening in the world. So when I often like to wear black. When I step outside, I feel like protected. I feel it's a cocoon that is protecting me and my body, and I feel more confident. I feel like my inner world inside is, it's in a safe spot. Number two is integrating the shadow, and this is based on the theories by Carl Jung. And the shadow is something that is hidden, something that is not really visible, but it's there. It could be something like a dark aspect of you that you don't want to feel, you don't want to see, but it is still a part of you, and it's still needed to be integrated for you to be a more complete person, more integrated person. I give you an example. Like recently, I like wearing this alternative clothes, and for me personally, it's about my more like dark feelings, like maybe sadness or anger that I don't want to maybe sometimes experience, but I want to create a space for those feelings to exist. So me allowing myself to wear something a little bit more dark, I feel more confident, and the dark feelings actually protect me. For example, when I feel fear or anxiety, that often means that maybe I have to pause and redirect myself. Maybe I have to rest. Maybe those feelings are guiding me into the decision that I want to make, but I'm afraid of it. Another aspect of fashion is to explore your inner world. And I want to tell you a story. 2 years ago, I had a moment where when I looked in the mirror, I didn't really recognize myself. I didn't really see my true self. I felt like I really blended with what was normal in the society, how people would expect to see me. I was trying to adapt too much to the social expectations and norms that I really felt like I wasn't me anymore. And maybe you can also relate to that. I think we sometimes have those moments, maybe like once in a few years, that we have to kind of revision who we are and ask ourselves those questions, what we like and how we see ourselves. And what really helped me was that I started to explore more fashion that I used to wear when I was a teenager, the type of clothes that I used to like. And I think that's a really good way to rediscover myself, but you don't have to literally wear that clothes. You can use that image of yourself as a guide, as a compass, to kind of see, what you liked, what you used to wear, how you used to support your individuality, and what can you do now with that? What can you explore right now, these days, in this moment, with the interests that you have right now? And you can, if you still have some of the items, you can wear them, but you can combine them with something that people wear these days, and you can create like a unique mix of your inner world, but something that fits in this particular time. Another aspect of fashion is to give to your feeling an image, and this is again based on Carl Jung's theory. And he said that it could be very therapeutic if I give you an example. So when I feel anxious, leaving home and going to my art studio and interacting with others. Sometimes I have that, anxiety. I often envision an image of a rose stuck in something like wires. And when I envision that image in my chest, I immediately feel better. I feel like, okay, that's it. That's the feeling. That's what it is. And I carry on thinking about that image. And that really helps me to shift my focus from the actual feeling to something more symbolic, something more specific, right? Something that you can envision, you can imagine, and it is usually very therapeutic. If you try this, if you tried it yourself, maybe I would like to know what are the images that you envision and how my current wardrobe is organized. I have my wardrobe that I wear daily, so like a closet where I keep the items that I wear, let's say during the week. And there is another closet in a different room, which is more like an archive wardrobe. Normally, I put some items there that I don't wear right now, but I know that these are something that I really like, I enjoy wearing. And they're usually the items of clothes that I rediscover from time to time, let's say once in a few years. I would start wearing them again. And I started to donating less clothes to the charity. I used to donate a lot of clothes, and some of the clothes that I've donated, I kind of regret doing it. I think some of it was really interesting and will express my individuality, but it is what it is. And right now I'm trying to be a bit more mindful of what I want to keep and what I want to donate. And right now I'm going to do an exercise that I usually do at the end of my studio visit. It is about drawing or painting something that, something specific that I have been thinking of. And you can listen to the story that I'm going to tell you and at the end of the video. And I think that's something that I try to do regularly. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for joining me on my studio visit journey. So if you watched until the end, please give this video a like. And also let me know what you want to see in the future videos. These pants and a hoodie. And it has some interesting written on the back. Everything is a choice. Bad choices make good stories. Design your own disaster. Create your life. I don't agree with that. I'm leaving the studio to go to explore the building. The light on the flowers is changing, so I'm painting these flowers and I'm almost done. And what was on my mind, it is important to be creative with the things that you have around you. Reuse the things that you already have. Don't wait until you have a perfect moment or when you have enough resources to buy really the best paint, for example. You can always use the stuff that you have around you, and I think this art studio is a perfect example of like almost every single item here has been reused. Mostly when people were moving out of this building, there are many people living here, they left a few items for the studio so we could reuse them. For example, this paint, it is most simple paint that I got a long time ago, and I have other paint, but I thought, it's really, I like the colors and why not to make use of it the way it is. I was painting flowers, and these flowers actually caught my attention on my way to the studio. I saw these flowers from the outside. I was thinking, what should I paint? What would be my impression of today? You remember in the previous video, I gave you an example of an exercise. It is an exercise art therapy recommended by my friend who is a psychoanalyst. So you are going to create something, and it can be, for example, a painting, a drawing, a sculpture. You can use any medium. You can use any type of medium you want. So you use the medium to tell a story. What was most memorable today? And you choose one thing. Of course, there were multiple things that maybe caught your eye, but one thing that caught my eye today while going to the studio were the flowers. I'm really happy about this aquarelle painting. It's not dry yet. I'm also going to show you the flowers. I'm going to put them somewhere here.